Recording has started. It's May 5th, episode 158. Just you and I today, Joey.
Well, you just went robot right during that.
Oh. Discord fucking up real early and quick.
Yep.
Oh, man. So, Chat GPT.
Yes,
request paid.
You made the terrible decision to talk about how we only played good games the last time I did the ChatGPT recommendation. So I asked ChatGPT to bring the pain.
Yeah, it's been a solid year of gaming, and
yeah,
you were adamant to rectify that.
Yep. Well, you shouldn't have celebrated. You should have just let the good times roll.
No.
Now we have this, and what your next topic too. So we're gonna get a lot of pain. A lot of pain.
All right. So, speaking of pain, I got to play a drop here because, oh my God, lots of sports sadness going on. So here's a drop. Play the drop. There we go. So the Leafs are out. That's a big bummer. They they came back from a 3-1 deficit in the series to take it to Game 7, go into overtime, and lose off a Mitch Marner lazy play. It's like their 7th or 6th straight Game 7 elimination loss. It's quite the accomplishment for the old Toronto Maple Leafs. Big sadness. You know what I'm most sad about is now my trolling on Monday is just thrown out the window.
Oh, that sucks for you.
Yeah, I was gonna. I had a big goofy like party hat that said Toronto on it. I was gonna wear my jersey and have a little flag I was gonna wave around and just be like, "Good morning, Bostonians. How you doing?" But now I can't do that.
Maybe next time you should root for a good team.
Well, I do root for the Colorado Avalanche.
Going in. Yeah,
really good.
Going in, Toronto's not going far. It doesn't matter how good they are in the season.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're basing that off like history or something. That's weird.
Yeah, history and stats and things. So I guess made up stuff.
Yeah. Well, who could prove these things? Nobody. That's who. Okay, so. Yeah, and Everton is looking like they're gonna not be a team anymore.
Oh, they're having issues, and then the bidders who are trying to buy them are having issues, and it's just issues on issues, and yeah, looks like they're having money issues on top of everything else. So
sounds very similar to what Hanover has been going on in the Bundesliga the last number of years. The only saving grace, and even then that might not play out so well over time, is the supporter league ownership rule that's in place. It kind of prevents a lot of that, but if you lose a main sponsor, then your team just doesn't have any money. It's like you can exist, but you can't do anything. So they're perpetually going to be in the Bundesliga 2 for a long, long time. It doesn't look like Schalke and Hamburg and those kind of teams are doing so well either. Different stories, though. So when's Man City going to be docked all these points?
Never. They're actually changing the rules. I think they're trying to go away from the fair play, whatever bullshit, and they're going to go to like a soft, a salary cap on teams. But it's kind of like the NBA. You just pay a luxury tax if you go over.
Right. Yeah, baseball too.
And the cap is... Yeah, so which I'm okay with soft caps. It makes sense. There's 2 teams that were against it, and they're Man U and I forget who the other one was, but they've been spending a shit ton of money. But the cap's not that bad. It's 5 times the lowest revenue. So you're looking at $500 million anyway.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's like, all right.
And that's only going to go up as TV deals go up. So, and you can spend more. You just have to spend money, and then it goes back to the other teams. So it kind of makes the league a little better. I mean, I know that some people don't like the idea of a cap, but I don't like the idea of Man City. So just being able to buy all the players you want and doing that outside of the rules, and when other teams start to do it, they just get fucked. So yeah.
Yeah, sports sadness going on. But the Avs are still in the NHL playoffs. And we're jumping between a bunch of different sports here. But Avs are still in it. Very excited. Round 2 will be interesting.
Before we jump, for the Bundesliga, at least Bayern didn't win this year.
That's right. First time in over a decade. All it took was a team never losing a game. Yeah. So good job, Leverkusen. Very happy with that.
Team that didn't lose.
Yeah. That's all it took to beat Bayern.
Here you go.
Oh, boy.
Robot again.
All right, just bear with me. At least you sound good on my end. That's what matters, and that's what people will hear.
Yeah, just have to go unbeaten to beat Bayern.
Yeah.
But now Bayern's having issues trying to get coaches, so that's fun.
Yeah, the more pain Bayern goes through, the more
people that they want.
Yeah, the more happy I get. That's how my feelings on Bayern Munich always goes. Okay, so what have you been playing?
I didn't play anything this last week since dealing with vertigo, so games made me dizzy. But held up Divers 2, even though they're in a ton of hot water right now, mainly because of stupid Sony, not the developers. I don't understand Sony's move on this.
Yeah, it was a weird story. Explain what went on there.
So originally it was required for a PSN account to work, but they disabled it after there was issues with the launch of the game. And then games were sold in countries that don't even have PSN. But now Sony's like, nope, starting in a couple of days, you got to require it. And if you don't have an account by the end of the month, you can't play the game. So everyone on Steam has been review bombing it. And there's no reason for this to happen because I don't think every game... there's no reason for this. And Sony's just fucking over their golden goose right now. And releasing word bonds every month that you can buy for $10. So I don't get the move. And now Arrowhead is stuck in the crossfires because they're making a great game, but they can't really control this. This is Sony say. So they did say that they're trying to look to get around it, but I don't think they have the sway. They're hoping that the reviews on Steam is enough. And now I know some people are refunding. And now the game has been delisted over on every country that doesn't have PSN. So it's just a shit show because Sony wants to throw their dick around and make everyone have a PSN account.
In a weird way, I understand where Sony's coming from, but it's not the way to go about it at all. Yeah, it's gonna ruin the game.
I know it's a requirement in the beginning. Then why'd you let people buy the game that? Yeah, and it's going to decrease the numbers. So now, like the living story that's going around is going to be changed. It just really ruins the atmosphere of the game.
All right. Yep. Not a great story, but a few other articles I've been reading lately is the path of the Nintendo Switch going forward, and how there just aren't a lot of first-party IPs being made right now. It's just nothing but remakes, namely the Luigi Mansion 2, Thousand Year Door, Paper Mario's coming out soon. The outlook on the Switch is very fascinating from the prospect of, do they just come out with a new console? What would be even the point of that right now? There's questions among developers over what to make for it. Is Nintendo even interested in any of that? Have you seen talk about this or writings? Because
You keep
that's
cutting
what I've
on me,
been.
so I don't know what you're saying.
Ah, all right. Hold on. I'll pause the recording here. All you, Joey. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, no. So what you're saying about the Switch? That seems to be how they've been doing their consoles lately. It's been more reworks, and then Nintendo fans just flock to getting the 7th version of the same game they've already bought for the same price because it's never decreased.
Yeah, and you even see similar aspects with Sony kind of going about that way with the announcement of, I think it's Last of Us 2 remake, or no, it was Horizon Zero Dawn remake for PS5.
It's because it's, I think, a guarantee for the most part that you're going to sell on a remake, and making a new game costs too much money, and they don't want to spend the money. They just want to make the money.
Yeah, it does make sense to me. But in terms of like a gamer and interest, it very much gives me lack of reason to continue buying product. For me.
But I think Nintendo fanboys will buy up everything they give out. So they're like Apple. Doesn't matter how tiny of a change it makes, they're going to buy it.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder with this prospect of Nintendo Switch 2.0, the upgraded model remake that's been rumored forever. What does that mean for the games coming out in the future? Is it just a Nintendo 3DS HD kind of situation there, where you might get 1 or 2 games that are exclusive to it, but then by the time that's over, the next iteration of the console's coming out, maybe they realize that the games that were going to come out for it exclusively hindered sales more than helps. There's a lot of business aspects to it that doesn't excite me too much, but with the prospect of Luigi's Mansion 2 and Paper Mario, I mean, these are 2 games that I think are the exception to the rule, because with Paper Mario being just so stupid expensive to even have it on the GameCube today, like just buying it from eBay and whatnot, and the fact that there has been really no release of it since, I think that's okay. And then Luigi's Mansion 2 was a big gap in a lot of people. A lot of people just didn't buy that particular version because it was on the 3DS.
Yeah, I get that. Remastering games that were hard to get or are hard to get, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, here's this. Check it out. You probably didn't get a chance before. No, please play it. But hey, here's the same game that we released on every console. Have fun.
Yeah, that's less exciting. And when
here's Skyrim. Have fun.
Yeah, here's Skyrim 4. Yeah, so I'm curious to what the future of the Nintendo Switch is going to entail, because I put it up there as one of the greatest consoles of all time at this point. It's just light years ahead of a lot of its predecessors. That's where the Wii U had its original idea, was to be the Nintendo Switch. Didn't quite work out that way. It's an uber successful console.
The Switch has been out for a while, but I don't know. I think Microsoft is the smart one in the console wars, because they're getting out of the console wars. They're just making a device to play games that you can play from the computer. And I think that's the way to go, is pretty much make a computer as a console that you can just play games on your TV. Because there aren't enough games to be exclusive to be buying new systems. Like PlayStation, the PS5, how many exclusives are there?
I probably have them all. Now I think about it. I did just get Stellar Blade, which is going to be a topic here soon. But yeah, COVID certainly hurt a lot of development for this generation.
That, and they just, Sony doesn't want to pay, and AAA game don't want to make anything that people want to play. They're going safe, kind of like movies. They're going safe. So you got to hope an upcoming indie developer creates something that's a magical event, or you just, even then you can be like PlayStation and shit on it. So I just don't understand what's going on with the consoles.
Yeah, we've had brief kind of thought process conversations about all this before. I truly think it's too expensive to make games in today's day and age, with a lot of the expectations that developers and studios seem to think it needs to be at this certain degree of like perfection. And I think with a lot of the games on the Nintendo Switch, it's really debunked that whole thought process, because a lot of the games aren't, 1080p 4K story-driven narrative masterpieces. Like, you don't need that. Is there still going to be a Zelda, Breath of the Wild type situation? Sure, you'll have those games. You kind of have to. Exclusive.
Yeah, I also think it's AAA trying to compete in the indie circuit, because they can produce games and knock them out in a couple months. And AAA don't want to be going without a year without having a game because they consider that bad. But sometimes you just don't need to release a game.
I mean, I talked about Lies of P a lot last year, and I thought that was a brilliantly made game, and it didn't break the bank. It just stuck to what it wanted to be. And this game, Stellar Blade, that just came out, I'm massively enjoying it. And it's certainly no 50-hour romp and perfect game, but it has a lot of things going on that really appeals to me as a gamer, with its very fluid, acrobatic gameplay, a nice little open world. The story's not like nothing. Like, don't worry about that part. And then, like, the amount of costumes and customization for battle is a lot of fun. And unfortunately, instead of talking about that aspect of the game, the big talking point of Stellar Blade is censorship. We're going back to that, where a hot woman in clothes is bad. You need to be offended, so therefore Sony goes, censor this, change this shit up, and it's upset a lot of people. And this is a Korean studio.
Yeah, I don't think the changes are that crazy though.
Yeah, it's come up with a lot of different outrage, I guess, levels to it all, and there's clearly a double standard here where, Last of Us 2, and this was a video Colin was happy to send us, Last of Us 2 is able to have, two dudes banging, no problem with that, while a girl in hot clothes is all of a sudden an issue. It's there's certainly a double standard there between studios.
But I will say, in that game, there is one outfit that makes the thighs and ass bigger. Like, legit changes the character model. They get bigger.
Oh, that's funny.
But I think I don't remember, because I was watching a streamer in between watching games for the Apex Legends Pro Series, or whatever series they call it, because they're in split finals. But she was switching to, and I think the one that does enhance is one of the harder clothes to get. But it's a noticeable difference. But I don't think that ruins the game. I mean, I think outrage in a lot of games is not every game is for you. And sometimes you just need to ignore a game.
Yeah. But as for Stellar Blade itself, I think the censorship thing is blown out of proportions. It's I just realized what I said. The larger aspect, I think, goes back to the Switch comment. We need more games like Lies of P and Stellar Blade out there. Need
more IP.
Right, we need more IP, and that's disappearing. Namely, with the Switch, the PS5 is missing a lot of IP. Xbox has been hurt for IP for well over a decade now, and I think that has a lot to do with why they're getting out of the console.
Yeah, because they know it's hard, and sometimes you take a risk with IP and it fails, and they don't want to. But Microsoft's the one that could be doing that. They make billions of dollars, but I'm guessing they don't see enough profit or anything to go into it.
Well, Microsoft's history of just ruining IPs and not really coming up with anything, I wanted to say artistic, but different from game to game. They just want to pump out Halo every year. They just want to pump out shit. That's it at this point. Gears of War. There's the second one. And how long is that? That's been going on since what, 2001?
I mean, yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to who's like in charge of gaming companies, but I wonder if it's kind of like in the tech world where money is taken over in charge and no longer developers. So it's all about making just profit and not making games.
Well, how can you make profit if you don't make the games?
And it's also even hitting the airplane sector with Boeing. They have a money guy that was a CEO, not an engineer, not someone who should be in the industry. They have money takes over, and then look what the fuck's happening with them.
Oh, don't get me started. I work in that aerospace and firearms industry now as my current. Exactly what geologists go to school for.
Yeah. Hey, metals is rocks.
That's true, and it does help to an extent when I'm doing material analysis on things. But what a side comment that is, or sidetrack.
But yeah, so I'm guessing too much money has gotten into the gaming industry, and that's kind of strangling any kind of new IP.
Yeah, how to maximize profits instead of how to maximize your value. It's a vastly different mindset.
Kind of happened to Hollywood too, but then you had people like A24 and Blumhouse that just popped up as indies, and they just make bangers because you got an idea, okay, we'll throw money at it. And A24 is like, you got something serious that you want to talk about, some movie that is going to be awesome, yeah, we'll make it. Hollywood won't do that shit. Oh, you want to watch Mission Impossible 37? Sure, let's make that. So we need, I guess we need more indies just to make it bigger and not get bought out by the big industry fucks.
Oh boy,
because they're just gonna screw everything.
Oh, I'm getting hounded with all of my Rhode Island, Boston friends trolling me. They're sending me videos of like sad Leafs fans, and I can't be having that. Can't be having that. I'm sad. Go Abs. That's all I got left. Certainly not the Rockies.
But to go back to Cellblade, like I would have never followed this game if there wasn't a controversy. Like I don't even know what the game's about. I just know.
Oh, okay. I will tell you all about it because I'm very much enjoying this. This is this year's Liza P for me. So basically, you're this. I don't know if she's a robot or a genetically enhanced human that was developed in space. Okay. Haven't really figured that out yet. What's fun is I haven't like done deep dive research on the game. This game looked cool. I bought it. I got it at a nice little coupon discount. And so there's these aliens called the Nymea, whatever they're called. Freaky aliens. Graphic designs. I love them. They're so freaky looking. It's very horror based with all the enemy designs. It's very cool. It has a world it's not laid out like a Dark Souls, but the boss battles are very much reminding of that. So it's kind of like a Dark Souls light, I would say, in that aspect. Okay. And basically these we'll call it robot developed humans or whatever is sent to Earth to try to liberate the alien invasion. Very simple, so forth story. And you are a good, I would say, first 3 or so hours of the game is this pseudo-linear path to open up the game to teach you how to do battle with these aliens. Do I fight 2 or 3 of them at a time? Do I lure them into other areas? It has an excellent parry and dodge system that's extremely generous for a player like me. It's very much in the realm of Liza P, where there's a lot of on-screen colors and sounds that go, okay, I need to dodge doing this mechanic, I need to dodge doing another mechanic, I need to parry doing this. And you can unlock a skill tree to make the window of block or parry easier. There's a lot of customization to that to develop your style of play. So very much, again, kind of like Liza P, where Liza P you got weaponry and you could mix and match to your play style. This is very much in the skill tree aspect of it all, which is pretty cool. And then you get to a place called the Wasteland after you face a couple boss battles, which are pretty sweet. And the Wasteland opens up into this pseudo open world aspect, and that's where you start doing various degrees of tasks, and you're trying to build up affinity with people in this town. And it really reminds me a lot of kind of like Fallout 3 town relationship building, and by developing these relationships and doing these tasks, you can unlock specialty gear, weapons, find different areas of the world that you're going, and you can then find more costumes. And where the customization aspect is really fun is the costumes have certain advantages and disadvantages to them. The accessories you can put on your character has different advantages and disadvantages. You can upgrade certain aspects of your weapon or your gear, and it's all very well done and made, and makes it fun to kind of collect those things to see what works for you. And if you got the demo and played it, once you beat the story demo section, then it gave you an offer to do this crazy boss battle that's way later in the game, and you have everything unlocked that you can mess with to see what you wanted. And it just showed how much there is to customize the character and your style of gaming that you can do during the game. And not to mention the whole acrobatics and fighting aspect is so smooth and fun. I'm massively enjoying this. It's a blast to play. If the story was probably a little bit more interesting and better and the characters weren't kind of tropey, then I'm sure the game would be getting even more praise rather than censorship outrage. But again, it kind of goes back to maybe instead of focusing on a crazy Last of Us or Horizon level story and characters, they just went with, you know what, we're just going to make the gameplay awesome and fun and collect this shit, and then you won't have to care about this aspect. And that's more fun on the gaming part and less about the story part, which I think a lot of games have missed the point of that. They want to make it more of a movie than a game.
Yeah. Which I hate because I don't like long cutscenes.
Yeah, I mean, you can always skip them sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But this game's a blast. I can't wait to continue playing it. I'm very satisfied with it, unlike some other games that have come out in the last couple of years, 3 years, that, it's just, we want to make this crazy story. Oh, the story sucks ass, and you negged on the gameplay, so now I don't even want to play it.
True.
Yeah. Okay. We done with that aspect?
I think so. I don't think I have anything else to bring up.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will play Crash Bandicoot, and we can talk about our two very shitty games. Here we go. Hey, we got 28 minutes out of that. Good, because I don't know how long we're going to get out of these two games that GPT painfully picked.
Yep. Oh, the pain.
But there is certain lore behind these two games.
There's definitely something behind these two games. So we'll start with what's considered one of the worst games ever, which I disagree with, but E.T. the Extraterrestrial on the Atari 2600. Let's see, developed and published by Atari, came out in 1982.
Sure
ChatGPT says released in 1982. This game is infamous for its poor gameplay, confusing mechanics, and rushed development. It is widely regarded as one of the worst video games ever made and is often cited as contributing factor to the video game industry crash of 1983.
I mean, it's like the mascot of it. I wouldn't say it's the worst game.
Yeah, so and the whole crash thing, I don't know if this is the reason. I mean, it might be a contributing factor, but I don't think one game can crash a whole industry.
No.
And honestly, I think this game's better than the other one we played.
I would agree. And what's funny is there's I actually watched a video over. It's like, this is how to play E.T.
Yeah. You got to read the manual. Apparently, everything's in the manual. It's not a fun game. It's not a complete game. Well, actually, it is complete, but it's just boring. but it works. And the manual tells you what everything means.
Yeah, collect the shit, go up these screens. It's almost like a primitive open world game.
Yeah, and for some reason, though, which I don't understand, they made the toughest setting 1, which is the default setting, and then game 2 takes away the scientist, which the scientist isn't even in that bad. The FBI is worse, and then 3 they take away everyone but Elliot. So you just run around and just hope you find shit before you run out of energy.
Yeah, it's more straightforward than I think people let on. Once you kind of figure out the 6 different, I don't know, areas, regions, whatever they call them, to go collect your stuff, fall through the well here, fall through the ground there.
And once you figure out that you have to get to like the question mark area in that area to figure out if there's a foam piece or not. So like you have to find hidden little pixels that you have to go stand on to try to find shit.
Yeah. And the other big like lore over ET is obviously the Arizona landfill thing, where a bunch of cartridges in 2014 or something were discovered, I think.
Atari video game burial.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just ET. I think it was, the claim was it was all ET, but I think they dumped a bunch of games there.
Yeah, let me see what an ET Atari cartridge goes for right now.
I saw on eBay anywhere from 15 to 150.
So the 150 is probably the landfill version. Yeah, I can buy one right now, ET Atari, for $6.
Yeah, so...
Now, would you call ET a must-have for Atari collectors? I think you kind of gotta.
Yeah, at this point, it's so infamous.
Okay.
I mean, it did have one of the worst releases, so I get that, but Pac-Man also would release that year.
I've heard of Pac-Man.
So. I've heard of it. Oh, our other games also on Wiki's list of games notable for negative reception. So that's fun.
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, this game, it is boring, but it works, and you can complete it. But I'm still gonna fail it.
Yeah, I mean, just on the bore level scale, it's not a game to pass.
Yeah, yeah, and the colors. I mean, I know it's Atari, but
are you a fan of green?
Yeah, as I was saying, like at least make ET a different color. Like ET's not green. Why are we running around with a green dude?
Maybe because if they would have made ET brown, it would have looked like a piece of poop.
Yeah, fair enough. And maybe because the green's the only thing that really worked well on the greens, and then the gray in the hole.
Yeah.
But I know the brown flower looks fine. And the foam pieces.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. Development. Warner announced its exclusive worldwide rights to market coin-operated and console games based on ET. Although the exact details of the transaction were not disclosed in the announcement, it was later reported Atari had paid $20 to $25 million, that would be $79 million adjusted for inflation today, for the rights, a high figure for a video game license at the time. So, yeah, it was a financial failure.
Yeah.
Like heavily.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see why it apparently helped crash the industry. That makes sense. They spent all their money on one IP that just was shit.
Warshaw and other Atari executives presented the design to Spielberg, who was not enthusiastic. According to Warshaw, Spielberg asked him, "Couldn't you do something more like Pac-Man?"
Yeah. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he easily could have done an ET Pac-Man, and it probably would have sold.
Yeah, probably.
You have to collect all the candies about getting chased by FBI agents, and you have to get to a bike to get to the next level. Boom, done.
I think you just solved ET.
Solved it.
Make
Done.
that game. Put it on
Go
Atari
back in
cartridge
time
and say it
and
came out in
make that game.
1982.
Here's a lost release E.T. Pac-Man.
All right, so the next game is what?
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the NES. Developed by Advanced Communication Company. Published by Toho in Japan and Bandai in NA. Came out in 1988 in Japan and 89 in NA. This game fucking sucks.
In NA. Not North America, NA. Released in JP in 1988 and NA in 89.
Yep. That doesn't even get to say North America with this game. It's a walking simulator. To play the game, you just need to walk and not hit things. Like, your character doesn't run. He jumps terribly because then he stops after he jumps. He has a cane that I have no idea what to use it for because it doesn't work against anything that I found. He got bombs because people are trying to bomb you for some reason. Like, I'm guessing maybe there's a manual that tells you why the fuck everyone's trying to kill you.
It's because you're an evil doctor.
Well, no, you're Mr. Hyde at this point. You're not Dr. Jekyll yet.
Well, Dr. Jekyll is in Demon World, or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. The first time I transferred, I got struck by lightning. And then instantly died. So I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, the whole aspect is to kind of avoid damage or something with Hyde. Because, I don't know, maybe it's an allegory on the more damage he takes, it brings out Dr. Jekyll to save him.
There's a meter, because you have that meter, but not life. So like you can
brain meter.
decrease the meter, but not take damage. And I don't know what does what. It just doesn't make sense to me.
So the brain meter, I think, builds up to Jekyll coming out, and then you can make the meter decrease while Jekyll by killing stuff, and you like satiate the anger and rage. I think that's the idea.
And I have no idea what the point is. You're just literally walking.
Or do I have that backwards? I might have that backwards. Anyways, yeah, it's a walking simulator that plays like shit.
Which one's which? I thought Dr. Jekyll was the team in. Is it not?
No, Hyde's the bad guy.
Hyde's the bad guy. And then Doctor. But the meter just makes it seem it's the other way around. Okay, so I guess I read it as like the dark green on the meter. See, the meter's even wrong. I read it as the dark green is Jekyll coming out. But no, it's just the dark green is just behind the meter. And the meter is just a light green. It's not two force fighting over it. It's just that until you get to Hyde. Okay. Wow. Alrighty. This game sucks.
Yeah, it's it plays like shit. That's the worst thing, because you don't know like what to do even from the start.
Yeah, it's yeah, it doesn't tell you anything. You just get up and start walking.
Yeah. Did you even get past like the first section? Because
I got up to the one where I got to the graveyard.
Okay, so there. Yeah. Oh wow, you got like 5 in. Well, I guess once you figure out the dumb mechanics to it, you can get pretty far.
You just walk. I was just hoping something would change, but it doesn't. And then the gophers or whatever in the cemetery were hard for me since they didn't have a pattern. It just felt random for the 3 plots of dirt they throw at you.
Oh, okay. So I pulled up the wiki. And okay, this makes a little sense, I guess, but not really. If Hyde reaches a spot equivalent to where Dr. Jekyll reached in the other world, a bolt of lightning strikes him and kills him instantly. The objective of the game is to actually advance as far as possible as Dr. Jekyll and to transform back as soon as possible as Mr. Hyde. So you're like playing against yourself. That's the concept.
Yeah, so...
No wonder if you just walk with Jekyll as far as you can, and like that's the difficulty. Okay. Oh, what a weird concept. I wonder how this would work in a modern game. This concept of you have to traverse a section as far as possible with a looming presence that's actually you. They should obviously remake Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's what we're saying. So the lore behind this particular game is kind of the one that I would point to as famous via the Angry Video Game Nerd. It's like one of the originals, and it's even a lore on his own like life and channel of him and his like friends trying to beat this game.
Can it be beaten? Like, it just felt like you just kept walking. Like, what's the point? Where are you trying to walk to?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is one of the worst games we've ever played.
Dr. Jekyll on the way to his forthcoming wedding. So he was trying to walk to his wedding.
Oh.
And the game ending, apparently there's multiple endings.
What? Okay, what are they?
I don't know. It depends on if you reach it as Jekyll or Hyde.
Huh.
See if I can find the endings. Both endings. Let me see. Okay. So you get to the church, and good ending. You get to there's 6 levels. You just walk into church and it says end. If you make it as...
I clicked on the video games notable for negative reception wiki article. It's pretty sweet. I love it. It's like an in-depth list over the worst games that have ever been made by like year release.
Yeah, I don't even know the difference to the endings. Like, you get married? I don't. I don't know. This game sucks. I fail it, and it's worse than E.T.
Yeah, I fail it easily. Like, without question. I'm wondering what the worst game is released like now. Let's see. I'm still okay. 2023. Here we go. 2024. Nothing in 2024 yet. I don't know. We'll put like Forspoken on there. The Sony release. Okay. Yeah, Sony lost a lot of money because of that game.
Yeah, because just buying the rights and it being a failure.
Yeah, which is a shame because anyways, I kind of want to beat that game to see like what the later stages are because it's kind of bad. I was weirdly into it for a good chunk of time, but anyways, yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde fucking sucks. It's one of the worst games we've ever played on this podcast.
Yeah. And that's saying much because we played broken games.
This isn't broken. It was just a piece of shit.
I know. It's just walking. It's just boring and bad and boring.
Yeah. Let's see. I
guess Superman Super 64 is probably the worst game of all time.
Oh, it's up there. Yeah, because at least we could get somewhere in this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give E.T. a D and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde an F. I hate both of these games.
I agree with you. Because, I mean, E.T. was boring, but you can beat it. You can play it. And it's not as bad as Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. It's a little more entertaining because at least it's quick. So you can get it done in like 15 minutes. So fuck both these games.
Yeah.
ChatGPT succeeded in bringing the pain.
It brought pain yet. Okay. The next episode is my pick, and we're back on the 3DO. The 3DO is horrible, actually, is the next episode. Can't wait.
Yay.
Went from good, I swear, to, nah, it's bad. And I think with this, we've played like every 3DO game that exists.
Yeah,
I'll have to put like the list that we've played and then the actual like console list to see what we're missing.
I hope we covered them all because I don't want to play any more of those shitty games.
There's always Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, but that's not like a game. That's just like a video.
What?
Yeah, Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. You're not familiar with this?
No.
Oh. There's possibilities in the future. Okay, that does it for this episode. See you next time, everybody.
Bye.